This is my first time going live. I really want to start a great channel where we can go over all kinds of modeling. I've been modeling for over 20 years now, and I've done figures, planes, tanks, ships. Just got into model trains. I do 3D animation for a living, so I'm a 3D modeler, so I do a lot of 3D printing as well, and I really want to try to integrate some of that stuff into model making. And I thought it'd be cool to have a channel where you can see different techniques from all across the different hobby industries and see where they all interconnect and stuff. Like, for example, doing the tanks, these guys are absolutely amazing at weathering, and those techniques a lot of the time aren't used anywhere else because nobody knows about them, because unless you do tanks and something else, you wouldn't even realize that they're there. So that's kind of the reasoning behind starting this channel, and I thought that doing live for the first couple of days of the week on the same project would be really fun, and that's a good way to get more videos out there. I don't have to edit, which is nice, and it's a great way to be able to interact with you guys. So, getting started, this is obviously the Tamiya EZ8 Sherman. So, after watching the movie Fury a couple years ago, I always loved it, and the Sherman was always one of my favorite tanks, and I actually built one of these when I was a teenager, and I still have the pieces of it somewhere. But I thought this would be a great way to get started into building model tanks as part of the series. So we're going to do this modeled after the movie Fury. I do have the Legend update kit, which is pretty cool. The one thing I have to say about this kit is this is the instruction manual, and it is absolutely horrid. There are some photo etch pieces that I have absolutely no idea what they are, so that kind of sucks. But I'll figure it out. Probably go to some forums and stuff like that to figure out where those extra pieces are. But as far as extra stuff, I mean, the castings are pretty darn cool. I'm super excited about the quality of the pieces. I've got basically everything that you could possibly want. Even this wood stuff has awesome wood grain. The boxes have wood grain on them, which is sweet. The castings themselves, where they made the mold, that really sucks. But I think this is easily dealt with a Dremel tool, so I'm not going to worry about it. But anyway, they give you cardboard boxes if you want to make cardboard boxes, photo etch, rope. I think the only thing it doesn't come with was cable. So we'll be diving into that probably next week, I would assume, because I'm thinking it's probably going to take this whole week just to put the main part together. But I will be, actually, let me take this out, because I will be paying attention to this while I build the kit to make sure I don't put on any pieces that are updated. So we'll set that aside. Let's check out the kit. Alright. So this is kind of cool. Tamiya gives you a history of the tank itself, as well as its specifications, and then just kind of breaks down some of the names of stuff, if you don't know, which, honestly, I don't know a whole lot of the more detailed information about the tank itself, so that's kind of cool. But we don't need that for building. As far as the instructions go, I did look over these. Everything seems pretty self-explanatory. It's split into 3 parts. So you've got this main carriage assembly, which is for doing the tracks. Then you've got the top assembly, which is the main top of the hull, and then you've got the turret itself. So I think, depending on how time goes, we're going to be able to get most of the undercarriage done today, and then tomorrow, if we don't finish, we'll finish that up and then start working on the top. And that's where we have to really pay attention to where the detail pieces come in. So that's our instructions. We have the rubber tracks, which is really cool. I've heard on forums that this is a little bit easier to work with than putting a couple hundred metal links together, so that's nice. As far as the plastic stuff goes, the only one I took out of the plastic was this, and I think this looks really cool. They've got extra detail where we've got concrete and some of the stampings and stuff like that, so I think this is a really good kit. And I did do some research before I bought the kit, and it's been said that the Tamiya one is one of the better kits, so I'm pleased with that. And I think it was $50 on Amazon. So it's not stupid cheap, and the Legend kit, the update kit, was about $50 as well, which I think was pretty expensive considering what it is. But when I really started doing research into this channel and how much I was going to end up spending on each of these kits, I realized that to do a really good kit, it's going to cost about $100 no matter what. Because even if you get a $22 airplane, once you start getting the photo etch and the engine parts and the pilot cockpit and all that kind of stuff, like you're already at $100. So it's one of those things you just got to get used to. So I think it's better, especially for the show and for display purposes, obviously, to get the better kits. Okay. Now, I think before we get started, most of this is just kind of a watching thing. I will go over a lot of stuff, but let me see if I can get an audio track started so that you guys can chill and listen to music if you don't have your own already going while you're watching this. So, give me 1 sec. You'll have to look at the side of my head, but let me find out how to do that. There's got to be a way. Let's see. I have some actually pretty good streaming music for making videos, so I guess I should use that, huh? Let me make a new folder. See if we could just dump all this stuff in here. I think we've got a good hour of music. Okay. Whoa. Did I do this one at a time? That would really suck. Alright guys, tell me if you can hear the music going. I can. I don't know how to turn it down. Alright, that was a little loud. Let me see how to turn it down. Let's try that first. Ah, master. Here we go. Yeah. So I don't know if any of you guys are streamers, and if you are, shout out. But I'm using a program called vMix for the first time, and that's what I'll be using to stream with, and it is amazing the more that I play with it, but I've only played with it for about an hour and a half, and it is crazy, all the different stuff. And it looks like I can only put in one dang track, which is kind of retarded. I'm wondering if I have to put them in, if I add them one at a time and then put them in something. That would be interesting. Because I'm adding an input. I wonder if it gives me an input if I hit Spotify. That would be cool. No. That's too bad. I'll figure that part out. Oh my word. I think I literally have to add all these audio tracks in one at a time. What an idiot I am. Sorry for slowing this down. Let me add in a couple of these tracks really quick. Okay. Alright, we're going to start with that. I don't know if it's going to go to the next track when it's done, but maybe it will. But I think we need to get started. Okay. Tools of the trade, before we pop open these instructions and get going. I'm sure all of you guys know this. Sprue cutter is super, super handy. And this is probably one of the most important tools, I think. And I prefer this so much more than I prefer a X-Acto knife for cutting these parts out, because it puts so much less stress on the parts. We're going to use the extra thin Tamiya cement for most of the model. I usually use super glue, but I'm realizing that with these, especially the extra thin stuff, it doesn't leave any residue. So you don't get any little pockets of glue on the outsides of cracks and stuff like that. So that's pretty amazing. And aside from that, I've got an assortment of a couple of files. You can buy a set of files like this off of Amazon for $10, and this is really, really important, especially to me, for cleaning off all the edges where the pieces come off the sprue. And then I've got a couple of just regular flexible files to smooth things off in case there's big pieces. But most of the time I just use these guys. And that's really about it, guys. So it's not looping, so that's awesome. Or not mixing. Alright. So the audio's going to be a little janky. I will figure that out tonight, and that will be fixed by the stream next time. Okay, so let's get started. If you guys have any questions or want to chat about anything, please just pop it into the stream. I've got it over to the side, so I will see it. But aside from that, I'm just going to go to work. One at a time. I run my hands over each piece just to see if I can feel any of that roughness, and if I don't, then I know it's ready. Oh, by the way, just in the future, we're not going to be doing the building videos live very much. I'm doing that now just to get in the groove so that I can make all of my mistakes while it's a little bit more slower paced. But primarily, like after this project, I'll be doing all of my build videos and posting those on Patreon. So if you're a builder guy, you can hop over there and watch them there. And then the actual like painting, detail stuff, the cool parts for a lot of us will be live. I feel it's a little bit faster paced that way. But I know there are some guys that really do enjoy watching build videos too, especially if I can keep my hands in the middle of the screen. It's another interesting learning process is always keeping my hands out here versus close to my face where I'm used to building most of my models. There we go. So guys, if you're listening, give me a shout out. What do you like to build? Are you a model builder? Or are you just watching for fun? If you do model, what kind of stuff do you guys like to model? Nice. Is there a particular scale that you like? I've always thought it would be a cool idea to set up a way for you guys to upload images of your models where we could take breaks, especially during painting processes and oils. There's going to be downtime, and I think it'd be cool for us to go over some of the projects that you guys do and just show them off. I'll probably set up a system for that over the course of the next couple of weeks. I would love to see what you guys do. Yeah, M4A3E8 is cool. That was what I wanted to start doing consistently, and then I realized that 132 has some absolutely crazy cool models with all the open engine parts and stuff like that. The Airfix 132nd, there's like a Japanese company, I think, that has some just amazing, awesome ones, but yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I think it'd be awesome. All I've got to do is figure out how to do the linking system, and I'll probably have to have you guys go to like my main website and go to the link. So I'll figure that out. Okay. again. Middle of the table. This audio thing is going to drive me nuts, I'm not going to lie. Like, why can't I play all of these at the same time? Okay. No, tell me I put that on the wrong side, because I'm an idiot. I think I did. Or I'm not paying attention. Yeah. Yeah, they really do. Okay, now that I'm back to knowing what I'm doing. Sorry, I pulled too many pieces off. Might be just a little bit nervous for doing this on camera. There we go. Yay, we got 2 pieces. Dude, no way. I guarantee you. I'm sure you could do much better than me at this point. But I appreciate the encouragement. The main thing for me to remember is just to keep on working out there. If I can keep on doing that, we'll be in good shape. Yay, 1 sprue already done. And I've already lost my file. There it is. So Kappa, do you watch YouTube modeling videos a whole lot? Nice. I think it's the best way to learn. Or one of the best ways to learn, I should say. It's probably, there's lots of good ways to learn, but I have found that YouTube is sensational. Okay, one thing that I recommend doing is dry fitting your pieces. Like, I was just about to stick some glue on there, and I'm like, hey, maybe I should just check to make sure that that fits right. So, dry fitting is good. And my most recent kits have been figure kits and Star Wars kits. I do like Star Wars, and you'll see on my channel right now I've got most of the Bandai Slave 1 already up there and ready to watch. And those kits are made completely different than ships or tanks. Like, you don't have to use glue, all the pieces are 100% perfect matches. Like, it's insane how well they design their kits. So I'm a little spoiled at the moment to not having to worry about it. But this one seems to be pretty well designed itself. I'm impressed. Yeah, it is great. Oh, by the way, tell me if you think the actual camera is too dark or too light on the tank itself. Because I did a white balance on it, and it made me darken it up a little bit. And to me it looks natural, but I don't know if you guys are just watching it, if it appears to be too dark, if you want it lighter or not. Brighter. I can easily make it brighter. I've got every light that I know of shining on this thing right now, and I've turned it down a little bit. A tad dark. Oh yeah, definitely. Give me one sec. Just have to stand up here and turn on those pesky settings for a minute. Sorry, I'm going to be cycling through that stuff for a second. Okay. Alright. No, yeah, no problem. Sometimes it's hard to tell from this side of it, because I'm like, okay, so that's supposed to be accurate, but is it actually, like, pleasing to look at or not? Okay. That one's nice and clean. Is my head cut off most of the time? Alright, so these little buggers are really hard to sand the tops off of, and unfortunately the tops are what you see. So I've got a pair of surgical clamps that I've had since I was a teenager. So I just lightly clamp those in. And there we go. And if you're afraid of using clamps, you can use tweezers. Another note, I don't know if a lot of people use a file, but I don't really push. I'm just running it over the top. If you push on it, then you could actually add some sort of scratch to it, and you don't want to do that. So just lightly running it over the top is all you need. Okay. I need a pair of tweezers. Let's see if I have any. There we go. Hopefully for tomorrow, I will figure out a way to be able to zoom in on this kind of stuff when I'm working on really small pieces. I know that's probably a little bit hard for you guys to see. But until I can get some sort of remote access, I can't just pop up there and zoom in and zoom out, so. Almost lost it. Do you airbrush, Kappa? I think airbrushing is one of the #1 things that can help increase the realism of a model. And I grew up hand painting all of my stuff. Oh man, that sucks. So we'll be doing a lot of airbrushing. I do, however, want to teach how to do brush painting, because I think it's an art form all in of itself to keep streaks from forming and all that kind of good stuff. But I think we'll do that on very small pieces, because it's a pain to do the big ones. Where's number 10? Ah, here we go. Huh. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. Was it one of the internal parts, or was it the needle, or what? Okay. Oh, the nozzle cracked. Ouch. Well, that's not fun at all. Sorry to hear that, man. There's nothing like having important pieces of equipment out of commission. Alright, I've got these super tiny little loops. Sorry, I was a little close in front of my face doing that. Stay on there, sucker. It's like it's just barely... the wrong fit. Ah. Sorry, I'm probably out of frame right now. I'm trying to figure out the exact angle this thing's supposed to be at. Oh good, I was just barely in frame. Nice. And of course that one came on, like, perfectly. The first time. Okay. So we got those two pieces. Now we're going to start the rear panel. Alright, so as far as watching video goes, I would love to hear all three of you's opinion on, do you enjoy the build video, or should I build this as quickly as possible and get to the painting videos? Like the finishing techniques, all of the extra parts, all that kind of stuff. Because for me, like if I've got nothing else to do, I would put this on and I would listen to the music and probably work on models or whatever. But as far as like just utter entertainment, this isn't like watching paint dry, but it's got to be pretty close. Or do you guys really enjoy watching the thing get put together? Because I'm trying to decide if I should work on this after hours late tonight. And then obviously we'll have to continue to work on it tomorrow, but then whenever we start the stream again next Monday, have the whole thing built so we can go right to painting. I'd love to hear what you think. Alright, so I'm switching the file to the softer pads because this guy's got mold marks that I don't want. But I also don't want to damage the finish too much. It may look like the finish is getting warped up, but this is so soft that it will literally wipe away for the most part. Okay. Nice. Well, tomorrow, if you're not busy, we'll be working on building this, but I do think I will build the majority of it offline, and I'll be doing that on video. You just won't see it until I'm done editing it. Because I do want to make sure that we start going over how to work with photo etch and all that cool stuff, because those parts of the build process are actually really important, I think. You know what's crazy though? Is when I started this, my intention was to go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, and bloody Facebook won't let you stream to anybody else at the same time while you're streaming to Facebook. Like, well, that's pretty retarded. I was really hoping that Facebook would be a wonderful outlet, but dang, that ain't cool. Now I'm wondering if maybe we should dual stream to Twitch. Forget Facebook. I know. I think it's this whole thing, like, when I was doing the research into, you know, how this all works and what the best way to stream is, and etc., 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 everybody says that Facebook doesn't like it when you embed YouTube links onto Facebook. They like you to upload your own videos directly to Facebook, which takes a tremendous amount of time. I mean, you can think a 15-minute video could take me 2 hours to get online, between exporting it from Adobe Premiere and the time it takes for it to render everything out, and then the upload and the processing process. So doing that over and over again, like, I've got it on YouTube then I've got to do it all by itself again on Facebook. Kind of sucks. I'm like, what's going on here, guys? Why do you want to do that? But now that they won't allow multi-streaming, I'm like, this is interesting. I'd love to use it as a good platform because I think it's a great platform, but I'm not wild about why they did that. You're on my Instagram, right, Kappa? Yeah, it's a very long render time. Let's see. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, so I've got the Bandai Slave one. I've got some really good pictures of it that'll be posting up this week. Because it's done. I just have to do all the rest of the editing for the videos. And I'm waiting to do those to start posting on Instagram. But I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't posted on Instagram in a while. Alright, so we got these little guys again, and this time I'm going to use a different pair of tweezers, so they're just easier to work with. And holy crap, it's gone. So you lucky three are the first lovely people to watch me squeeze the tweezers too fast and fling a part out into the middle of nowhere. So that'll be fun finding after the stream's over. I can't believe I did that. It's bound to happen. Thanks, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be really, really cool. I've been in a Star Wars groove for the last couple of months, and I've got a bunch of unfinished models that we'll be doing dioramas for on live or on edit. I'm not sure which one. Okay. Let's add another track. It was one of these hooks. It's super small. Let's see if it'll zoom in. That little piece right there that I put on. How much does that suck? There's a decent chance that that part will end up being a quote-unquote damaged piece. We'll see. What's even more unfortunate is that I have a that's like a beige, really fluffy carpet in here. So, talk about having a hard time finding it. So it's important if you're doing a lot of sanding in one direction that you then pop over to the opposite corner. You can see how it's leaving that interesting residue, that white color. Gotta make sure you get that off. Yeah, that's definitely going to be what's about to happen. We'll see. I'll let you guys know tomorrow if I find it. I'm definitely going to look. It's just that I know chances are very slim. In my mind, that drives me nuts, because now I know that it's in some way not perfect. Not that any of our models are ever perfect. Okay, this piece needs like a rubber cap thingy. Okay, so now we've got to be super careful. So it said don't cement the little black cap in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for most of that glue to evaporate. That way, once I put the cap on, it's not going to push it around. Oh, dang. Yeah, that would really suck. And then you have to build one from scratch. Be like, oh my gosh, this is taking so long. Why? I think it's amazing watching the guys that build all of the scratch pieces for the biplanes and triplanes, all those little hardware attachments and stuff like that. I'm like, wow. So much scratch building. Okay, let's see, what do we have here? Well, we're not even close to being done with the carriage, but yeah. Yeah, that's definitely on my list, is to do one of those, though I don't necessarily think I'm going to scratch build all the harnesses. I do love the idea of doing all the wiring and stuff like that. I think that's really cool. Let's finish this piece. We'll get this piece put on, we'll get the back put on this, and then we'll call it a night so that I can do some more research into the streaming stuff, so that tomorrow we have audio that is in a nice full mixed loop, and I can figure out how to zoom and cut and stuff like that. So back to this piece. Cutters, 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 cutters. Yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out, like, what the best timing for me and for all you guys are. I mean, especially as we pick up followers. Because 9 o'clock for me is great, because that gives me time to get home, eat dinner, relax for a sec, and then set up all this stuff. And if I've got any type of prep work to do, I've got a little bit of time to do that. But I know, depending on where people live, you know, that could be 9 o'clock for them if they're in Central Time, or, you know, who knows what. And I think I'm going to be focusing more on doing quality editing behind the scenes for all the other projects, and I'm probably not going to do as much as I was thinking I was going to do, because I've got a full-time day job right now, too, so while I'm doing all of this stuff, I've also got some other very interesting projects that I'm going to be working on behind the scenes, and I want to make sure that I've got time for those, because we want to be able to put out videos consistently. But I'm also thinking about the possibility of doing 2 hours versus just 1 hour, because I feel like that 1 hour went by real quick. Lots of things to consider. But I'll tell you what, I actually really dig the live streaming. I think it's cool. I live in Dallas, Texas. Literally in the city, Dallas, Texas. How about you? Okay, Arizona. Nice. I've been through there a couple of times, and I've got a couple of friends who have been there many times, and they love it. Well, the one thing I've got to say about the Tamiya stuff so far is that all the parts fit really, really well, and the kit itself seems, you know, super detailed, as we can see, but the plastic itself is squishier than what I'm used to, so it's not very brittle. So when I sand, it doesn't clean up as nicely. It just kind of lays over. Which makes cleaning just a little bit more of a chore, but... So while I've got a couple of seconds, I'm just making sure that those hooks are all aligned and that they're even. And everything's level. Scared myself for a second. I thought I'd lose the piece again. Alright, I'll tell you guys what. Since there's only 3 of you on here right now, when we get to the end of the stream, I'll go pull out the Slave 1 so you guys can see what it looks like. I'm pretty stoked about it. Okay, now we're on to putting the main units together. This is awesome. Alright, again, dry fit. Right side up. Alright, so I'm just going to hold it here for a sec. Make sure that all of the edges are closed. Luckily this weld glue sets up really fast, so I'm not super concerned about it. But I do want to make sure that we don't get any crazy gaps. Alright. So that went on pretty well. Okay. Ah. Try that again. So another thing I've seen guys do is put two pieces together and just run the glue along the seam. And it's so thin that it'll just weld those pieces together. Yeah, this Tamiya glue is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay. So, let me clean up the mess real fast. From all of our stuff. Let's see what this thing looks like. And then I'll go grab the slave one. Okay. So, the main stuff is we've got a bunch of these little hooks and ties on. We got our back piece with our exhaust, which is really, really awesome. And then just the basic shell. So, I think everything's looking really nice. Pretty excited about it. And that's a pretty good, decent amount of work for just getting started. So let me put that over here. I'll be right back, and let me grab the slave one. Alright. Check this guy out. So this is how I'm going to start basing all of my kits. Is going to be a round black expanded PVC foam base, and then I'll either do a diorama or just keep it black. And then pop it off. Let's check this thing out. So these move up and down. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm actually really pleased with how it turned out. And the photos really make it shine. So there's a whole entire series of videos devoted to how this was built and how this was painted. The only video that I don't have posted right now is the weathering and finishing, and I'm going to be doing that this week. But I'm trying to go live, so I'm just taking some time. So yeah, so that's this thing. It is pretty sick. This is all oil weathered, acrylic base colors, and it's a Bandai kit. Not very expensive either if you like Star Wars. So that's that. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you hopping on the stream, and I appreciate all the comments. Thanks so much, Kappa. I'll be on tomorrow by 9 o'clock p.m. again, so 9 o'clock Central Time, and we'll be doing more work, and then over the course of the week I will finish up the actual building process, and we'll start painting next Monday. So the schedule is going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and for now it's going to be at 9 p.m., and if a lot of people want to go earlier or whatever, I'm sure we can figure something out. But right now it'll be 9 o'clock, and we're going to start with doing it for an hour, and if I feel like it, we'll push it on to 2 hours. Next time I'll have a lot more technology stuff figured out, but thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.